Well guys, it has been so long since I've done a new addition to this What If, and I honestly didn't think I was ever going to, but I guess I say that with all the series I end at Z and don't go into Dragon Ball Super. I say that with all of those, but then I do go into Super later. And that is What If Fasha Survived Part 13, heading into the events of Dragon Ball Super. However, after reading a few comments and re-watching the What If Fasha series myself, very long night, I just gotta fix up this tiny thing that was supposed to go in the previous part. Well, not even that, no, not the previous part, like just before the Boo arc began, in between the Cell games and Boo arc, just something I forgot to add in as an explanation. And as it's been pointed out in the comments of the previous part to this story, thank you by the way, is that he points out that I didn't have Fasha or Goku learn the Spirit Bomb, yet they beat Majin Buu with it. And yes, after rewatching it, you're right, I forgot to add that explanation in. And well, here goes. Now, this was in between the years between the end of the Cell games and the beginning of the Boo arc. Now, as we know, during the Cell games, both Goku and Fasha both lost their lives during the Cell games. They both died fighting for the planet and gave Gohan that final motivation to defeat Cell. And, well, even though they weren't in Outworld for that long, well, remember that Fasha does have instant transmission, so she does know the feel of Outworld, the energy it picks off. So one day, leaving Gohan and their second son, who's named after Goku's father, Bardock and Gohan are left to their lonesome, because at that age normally on planet Vegeta, the boys would already be moved out and living on their own and conquering planets, you know, if they were still under the rule of Frieza, or still savage, ruthless conquerors like the Saiyans of old, before planet Vegeta's destruction. So anyway, Goku and Fasha went off on a little vacation to Outworld, without Yama's permission, or anyone's permission for that fact. And, well, they did some exploring, including exploring the Snake Way, where they found King Kai's planet, and were finally introduced to the old Kai, and that is basically when they learn Kaioken, because they learn Kaioken as well, and as well as the Spirit Bomb. King Kai decides to teach him that, just as a reward for everything they've done for the universe so far. I mean, they did get rid of Frieza and pretty much most of the Frieza Force, and of course they stopped this other menace of a Cell running around. So there we go. Okay, grant you that's probably not the best explanation, not the best logical explanation, but that was the explanation I sort of came up with for the explaining the Spirit Bomb. And as we know, sometimes when I do these what ifs, I forget to add these certain things, especially when I get caught up in the battles and things, as I do. So, now that I've explained that little bit, it's time to continue the story. Years have passed, and Goku, much like in the original, has begun farming, but he's got Fasha and Raditz to help him out with it. And, of course, Nappa as well, because Nappa does like planting gardens and things, and planting vegetables isn't really that much different to Nappa, so And you know, all those Saiyans working together, they can eat all they want and then train during their downtime. Really, it's the perfect working and business model for Goku when you really stop to think about it. And well, Fasha, who has sort of settled down a little bit, she does, like I just said, she does keep up training with Raditz, Nappa, and of course their two boys whenever they got the downtime. And you know, whenever someone's not slaving away with a hot stove, feeding everybody. It's just kind of funny when you think about it. Fasha just muttering to herself, I don't know how Gine did this every day. Because remember, Gine was the big cook of her family and pretty much the entire Saiyan race. She worked in I'm pretty sure that was Gine's job, was pretty much feeding the race. All the soldiers that came back from missions. Yes, I think Fasha has found a new respect for Gine at least. Yes, because even cooking can be a battlefield. A nasty, fierce battlefield. And Raditz is just laughing at this. Bottom line is, it's peace times. It's, yeah, peaceful times. And, well, the time has now come for, Bulma's party. And, well, much like in the original during this part, Goku decides to, not just Goku and Fasha decide to sneak off and get a little extra training on King Kai's world. Because remember, Fasha has the instant transmission, Goku doesn't have it in this timeline. And so, pretty much the training's gone down much like it does in the anime, except Goku's got himself a decent sparring partner. But meanwhile, while Bulma is setting up her birthday cruise, the god of destruction, Lord Beerus, has woken up and has gone destroying planets at a whim and blowing up half a planet for a half, because they only served him a half decent meal. You know, Beerus kind of does that, has a very short temper. And well, as he's blowing up one of the planets, he sees a vision, a formation in the explosion that forms the figure of a Saiyan. Specifically, a Saiyan woman. Looks suspiciously like Fasha. That's it. I remember that dream now, Whis. The Super Saiyan God. And, after getting confirmation by his fish friend, whose name I forget, Beerus decides to venture off in search of Saiyans to ask about this Super Saiyan God. And well, with weeks pretty much verifying that yes, there are Saiyan survivors, and that the Saiyans were actually capable. The surviving Saiyans banded together to actually take out Frieza. You mean someone took out Frieza? And essentially, he sees the battle between Fasha and Frieza on that desolated world where Fasha chose as basically the big battleground to fight Frieza. Or did they attack Frieza base? I can't remember. There are so many what-ifs where they engage Frieza somewhere else that I've done, where they've engaged him somewhere else other than Namek, that it's hard to keep up. Even though I rewatched the series last night, I think it was just a made-up planet. Yeah. So, with Beerus now on his way to North Kai's world, detecting that Fasha and her husband are there, he decides to ask them twice, and Goku is all eager to test his strength against a destroyer deity, while King Kai and Fasha even are trying to advise Goku against this, because even Fasha has heard the name Beerus before. Just rumors that a destroyer deity once brought King Vegeta to his knees or something like that. Just some rumor that went around the whole planet. And the fact that she couldn't sense any energy coming from Beerus made her more nervous. Just like how she was nervous during the whole Android saga. You know, we had Android Vegeta. That was pretty cool. And well, so essentially Goku ends up battling with Beerus, and it pretty much ends up the same way that it does in the original story, with Goku ultimately losing and pretty close to near death. This angers Fasha, who powers up to her form and also goes up against Beerus, but to everyone's surprise, she's actually doing quite well against Beerus. You know, angry, rage boost. Kind of like how Vegeta was doing decent against him for that brief period of time. But in the end, she is laid out too. And, well, Beerus is on his way to Earth, and he's going to crash a certain party. But don't worry, King Kai has gotten word to Vegeta, who has told Raditz and Nappa the whole story. And, well, Nappa and Raditz remember what Prince Vegeta told them years ago about Beerus stomping both him and his father. So, they're quite well prepared to do their best in keeping the cat tamed. Meanwhile, everyone else is oblivious to that fact. Now, essentially, it all falls down on our heroes anyway. Now, I can't remember if there is still a Majin Buu alive. Not Kid Buu, of course, the original Buu. I really don't think there is, for the life of me. I don't seem to recall him being saved this time around. But whether or not he's there, Beerus' temper still gets the best of him, with everyone else's shenanigans and ridiculousness eventually getting to him, and a fight breaks out anyway, and Raditz, Nappa and Vegeta are pretty much all charging at Beerus, only to have no effect on the deity, on the Destroyer God. Gohan manages to power up, and unlike his original counterpart, he hasn't gone soft at all, and this does surprise Whis a little bit that there are Saiyans on this level who could potentially become the next Destroyer, and this has Whis very interested. But alas, everyone who challenges Beerus is more or less taken down, explicitly one by one. And Vegeta, Beerus is most curious about, because he just seems to keep getting up and coming back for more. Because remember, as said, Vegeta is also basically, he's been modified into an android when he was captured by Dr. Gero prior to the android arc. Because for 3 years Vegeta went off on his own and disappeared. He was modified into an android. And just like Android 18 and 17, his supply of power is basically endless. So he can keep on kicking, he can keep on punching. But Beerus gets tired of this and just uses enough power that is necessary to actually overpower the Saiyan android and bring the prince down to his knees in a similar fashion to what he did to him as a kid, putting his foot on him, on his back, much like he did to his father all those years ago. And, well, Beerus has pretty much had enough of this and goes to blow up the planet. And this is where Goku and Fasha now turn up, and they do have a plan, and they convince the Destroyer God not to do such a thing, and be able, because they have worked out a way to get them a Super Saiyan God. So, with their failed attempt to get Shenron to bring them one, they ask him how to, they find out from Shenron how to create one. 5 Saiyans given their power to another, a total of 6 Saiyans, which they easily have that in spades. Fasha chosen to be the one for this story, and essentially Fasha has ascended to the ranks of Super Saiyan God, and she's pretty much immediately going to battle with Beerus. However, it's not like in the anime how Goku had a lot of trouble controlling it. Fasha doesn't seem to have that problem. She's all focused and wants to teach this Destroyer cat a lesson once and for all. If she can beat him, he will leave the planet alone. Of course, what everyone doesn't know is that Beerus has taken quite a liking to Earth's delicacies and has no intention of destroying it anyway. But if it gets Fasha all riled up and gets her fighting Beerus at his best, he will keep playing that lie out until the very end. And needless to say, it's quite an epic battle between the two gods, as they essentially it's more even than in the original fight. Beerus is coaching a lot less with Fasha than what he had to do with Goku in the original, because Fasha's just better all round, and more clever too, because she actually manages to get quite a few smart tactical hits in with Beerus. Even though she wasn't the strongest member of Bardock's crew back in the day, she was by far the cleverest, second to Bardock himself. She would use her environment, if necessary, to take advantage of Beerus, as long as, of course, she was some way she could that wasn't going to endanger any of the civilians nearby or anything like that. But as they were battling around islands and stuff, plenty of fun terrain that she could throw at Beerus, mountains and coves, rock slides, all that fun. All this is keeping Beerus on his toes, and it becomes quite clear he's having a lot of fun. A lot more fun than he has with Goku in his original fight. Ha! So it's good to see that you Saiyans have a couple of smart ones among you after all. And he starts doing telekinesis and starts using the terrain itself, and from that point it was basically terrain and them trying to outsmart each other with in tactical warfare. But in the end, it comes down to Fasha, just like Goku, having a resort to brawn and trying to overpower Beerus, only to drain out the Super Saiyan God power, which is good because her body has seemed to have learned from the experience, and Beerus has now realised that this fight's now coming to an end, and basically decides to end it there with that powerful beam, and Fasha passing out. That's it. I'm spent. You're too strong for me, Beerus. Well, naturally. That must hurt your Saiyan pride to admit that. And well, she's basically on the verge of passing out like Goku in the original. And Beerus is all, I'm gonna destroy the planet now, and then drops and falls asleep like in the original. And Whis takes him out of there, and well, by the time Beerus wakes up again, it's all gonna be forgotten. Water under the bridge, you know. Just make sure there's a good stock of pudding cups, and make sure everyone is, you know, just well behaved, and that Bardock doesn't accidentally annoy Beerus again, because that's who actually annoyed him. It was Bardock, who was yeah. Basically, Bardock was the hostage victim from the Pilaf gang. So we used that whole thing, and Gohan becoming Great Saiyan Man, playing their hostage game. So yeah, if you were wondering what set off Beerus before, that was it. So, with that and a job well done, I think this is where we can leave things for now. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this part? How are things going to go this time around? Who will we train? And best of all, are we going to get a Fasha versus Frieza 2? Because after all, the Resurrection of Frieza arc is next. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys again next time. And yeah, do remind me, did Majin Buu survive in this series? The original one, the one that lives with Mr. Satan. Kid Buu's definitely dead. I just couldn't for the life remember me if I kept him alive. And this is even after I rewatched the series. Just goes to show how much, you know, information's in those what ifs. It's a lot to keep up with. Then again, I suppose if I used scripts, we wouldn't have that problem. But it's just so boring reading from the scripts. I like to improvise. Anyways, see you all next time.